The chief of the South African National Defence Force, General Solly Shoke, will bid farewell to the SANDF after more than 2.5 decades of service. President Cyril Ramaphosa will witness Shoke's farewell during a change of command parade at the Pretoria Military Sports Ground in Thaba Tshwane later this morning. General Shoke will retire on Monday and hand over the command of the SANDF to Lieutenant-General Rhudzani Maphwanya. For more on this, let's cross to our colleague, political editor Mzwandile Mbeje. Very good morning to you, Mzwai. We see you already at the sports ground. What's happening this morning?
A very warm welcome to Thaba Tshwane here in Pretoria, where we are going to be witnessing the change of command. Last month, President Ramaphosa, as the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, announced that he was introducing a new people at the helm of our military. And of course, we know that General Shoke is now retiring at the end of this month. And of course, the new general who will be promoted into general, remember currently he's Lieutenant-General Rhudzani Maphwanya, is the one who's now going to be in charge. But of course, along with him, there will be a number of key appointments that will also be unveiled, as the president did announce last month. With me is the spokesperson of the defense, Cyril Ramaphosa, to basically shed some light as to this occasion, the importance of this occasion, and what it means for South Africa. Mr. Dlamini, welcome to the SABC. The president last month basically told us that a new guard was taking charge.
Yes, indeed. On the 14th of April, the president announced to the nation that General Shoke, the chief of the South African National Defence Force, will be retiring and will be handing over the leadership of the South African National Defence Force, as you've pointed out, General Rhudzani Maphwanya, who has been presently the chief of joint operations, the employment wing of the SANDF. Today's occasion is both joyous and full of happiness, but also sad because, you know, General Shoke has been leading this organization for the past 10 years. He's actually the longest serving chief of the SANDF. He'll be handing over the baton, which is quite an exciting and a very important thing to do, because the transition from one general to the other is very important. And this shows that our democracy is strengthening day by day, and the responsibility and the constitutionality of South Africa is being displayed here today, that we are having a transition of military personnel from one head to the other, and that augurs very well for our democratic dispensation.
How important is this development? I'm asking this because a few days ago, we actually witnessed on this continent in Mali, a coup within a coup, so to speak, because those people who had been put in charge had just been installed about 8 or 9 months ago. But here is the revival of the African continent. So how important is this example that South Africa is setting to the continent?
That's a very important question, Mzwandile, because, you know, we're a constitutional democracy, and the constitution is the supreme law of the country. And the Defence Force derives its mandate and responsibility from the constitution and nobody else. And therefore, we view the Defence Force as the guardian of this very constitution. So this demonstrates that the South African National Defence Force is indeed the guardian of the Constitution and will follow nothing but the Constitution. And with regards to that, that is why the transition from one general to the another is very smooth, in the sense that they both understand the importance and the supremacy of the Constitution. So we abide by the Constitution as a defence force at all times.
But there's also a very important element to this. For the first time, we would have a woman in the command council, so which is quite key, given how the defense has always been run.
Yes, I mean, that's very, very exciting and important for us in the sense of the emancipation of women. And one should not shy away from the fact that the Defence Force is seen as a male dominated organization, and the hierarchy therefore is also male dominated. And it has been always the minister's vision an objective to ensure that during her time as the executive authority of the Defence Force, she will work hard to ensure that a woman is elevated to the highest level of the Defence Force. And this is no token. General Mqagato, who will be a Lieutenant General, a 3-star general, will be the first woman in the history of the military in this country to be a 3-star general, has vast experience. It's not a token, I can assure you, as I've known General Mqagato for over 20 years. She's no token whatsoever. She knows the business of the military, and it's very, very exciting for us as a Defence Force, and the Minister's objective has been achieved during a period.
Going towards closure, Mr. Dlamini, they are taking over a defence force which I would say is very depleted. I mean, if you look at your own review, the defence review is basically saying because of the budget cuts, your capabilities are being thwarted day in and day out. And given some of the challenges we are facing, I mean, look at what's happening in Mozambique. What if it comes here? Will we be able to deal with some of those challenges, given that our military at the moment, its capability is really decreasing?
Yeah. There's a memento that we always use: doing more with little. Doing more with little. The Defence Force budget has been reduced over the past good 15 years, and we have been struggling, but managed to do what government has instructed us to do, albeit under very difficult circumstances. Because as the budget decreases, our mandate and government's decision to get us involved in various areas is growing. So our budget and our responsibilities is not commensurate. And therefore, General Maphwanya is going to be going into shoes of General Shoke with the knowledge of the budgetary constraints that the Defence Force finds itself. And I'm quite confident that as a seasoned military person, a strategist, he will ride the storm together with the new team that have been put together. But it must be indicated to South Africans that it is high time that South Africans and government in particular decide on the kind of Defence Force they would like to have. As the Minister has always said in a budget speech of the past 3 years, that South Africa, please decide what kind of a Defence Force you want and then resource that Defence Force.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dlamini. So I know so you need to go. So there's a few more questions I still wanted to pose, but I can see some of your colleagues. But should we need you again, so we'll certainly speak to you. Thank you very much.
I'm available for you for the rest of the day. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you very much. There you have it, Desiree, the spokesperson of the defense. And of course, because the function is supposed to be happening at 10, so I think he's needed. So already there were signs that they want him back. But it's quite important, Desiree, perhaps to speak about this, that the new general, General Maphwanya, is coming in when the defense is really having a tough time. I mean, their defense review, their annual review, basically said the budget cuts are severely affecting them. And yesterday, our president was in Mozambique to speak about the issue of Mozambique. Remember the security threat there. Mozambique is our neighbor. So the question is, given that we have budget cuts, our capabilities are being reduced on a daily basis, so to speak. So if that kind of a threat were to approach south, so will this country be able to deal with some of those things? Yes, he did say we should do more with little, but of course, some of those people are quite armed. And the defense force of South Africa, I mean, used to be one of the very strong ones. In fact, on the continent currently, I think we are only number 3 behind Algeria and Egypt. So it does tell you that so we are struggling. I mean, I was just reading some of the things in the global firepower, those that look at the defense capabilities of a country. I think we rank something like 29 in the country. But of course, I think the new general will have his work cut out for him. Back to you, Des.
Mbeje, there, of course, a story that we will definitely be following as soon as proceedings begin there.